Spain has officially won the World Cup, and as a Real Madrid fan, of course, I am literally like, this final was already like depression for me, bro. But Spain winning, it might be even worse, honestly, guys. But I'm gonna try to give as much as an unbiased opinion on this match that I could be. This is gonna be a full match reaction. I'm just gonna look at the game. I'm gonna talk about what I felt, during the game, and if I feel that Spain deserved to win the World Cup. Let's get straight into it. If you have not already, please subscribe and like the video. The lineups. I think everybody expected these lineups, Spain wouldn't be changing anything. Why would they? They beat France with this lineup. Some people maybe thought that, Pedri could have been starting this game, but I thought to myself genuinely, why would you do this? Completely unbiasedly, I'm not even doing this as a joke. I think Pedri was worse for this team as a starter than Fabian Ruiz. Maybe, Pedri came off the bench and did pretty well in my opinion. But as a starter, I think Fabian Ruiz fits this team more. He gives them a little bit more calmness and he can play alongside Rodri way better. Because if Rodri wasn't in this team, I think Pedri would have been doing what Rodri was doing. But if they want to, both be the main man in the midfield, they both want to have most of the ball, they both want to be that guy, it just didn't work out. And even though Spain was winning, they were much, much worse before Pedri actually got benched. Let me just make this a little bit smaller. For the Argentinian team, nothing really changed too much. I think only Paredes stayed on the bench. De Paul actually started this match and Nico Gonzalez finally started. Do I think this was the right decision? No. I think Nico Gonzalez should have started. Sure, I get it. He wanted to be a little bit more attacking because of, Spain's complete and utter domination defensively this World Cup, only conceding once. And I think they kept 7 clean sheets in 8 matches after this game. This was, of course, before the match. Other than that, I think this was, the perfect lineup. He didn't have to change anything. I think, just count on Messi and pray, because that's exactly what Scaloni did in this match, and that's exactly what the other Argentinians did for this match. Because other than maybe Emiliano Martinez and, clearly nobody off the bench, they didn't want to win this game, in my opinion, because I genuinely think they thought to themselves, okay, we have Messi, if we just defend well, we will beat this Spanish team. But if we are being completely honest, guys, who has Argentina really and truly met, apart from England, in this World Cup, that were better than them as a team? Cape Verde are not better, Egypt are not better, Switzerland are not better, and England on paper for sure, but England have that mental block. Spain, on the other hand, are a World Cup winning nation, and this team has already won an international trophy, so they will be much better mentally, and they are much more suitable in what they play as a system, as a tactical, as a tactical idea of Luis de la Fuente, which he wants to keep the ball as much as possible and give the players opportunity to score, of course, but doing that in the most possession style football possible. They press well as well, so Argentina, I predicted Spain to win. I wanted Argentina to win because I had to pick one of the lesser evils for me as a Real Madrid fan. But I think Spain played the perfect football to neutralize Argentina. And I'm sorry, guys, if we look at these stats, it's just embarrassing, honestly. If this was any other player than Lionel Messi, which Lionel Messi for me is the greatest player of all time, but if Portugal played this final against Spain and they played like this and Ronaldo did what Messi did today, they would have been absolutely slandered. They would have been absolutely slandered. If England played this final and they played like this against Spain, they would have been absolutely slandered. Argentina, for me, was absolutely embarrassing. They were not up to the standard. And if Lionel Messi wasn't on it, which he wasn't today, let's be honest, guys, he wasn't that great. He couldn't, get those tight spaces. He couldn't get in really the passing. I thought he was just poor, honestly, and it might just be his age. I'm not gonna say anything bad on Messi, because without Messi they wouldn't even be here. So fair enough, Messi can have an off game. It happens even to the greatest of all time. But other players just letting 0 shots on target happen, and the manager not seeing that it might just be time to take off Alvarez after 90 minutes of not performing. Because let's be honest, guys, the Enzo red card came in the 93rd minute. Scaloni had enough time to realize that Spain were just too good in the ball. And they needed somebody that will 100% guarantee something in attack. And is that Julian Alvarez? No, Julian Alvarez is once again too similar to Messi in the sense of he doesn't really want to be the number 9. Because they don't really play a 2-man up top. Let's be honest, guys. They defend in like a 4-6 almost. Because Messi just walks, above the midfield, and Alvarez usually stays here and attack, sure. But when they have the ball deeper and when they defend, he's like right above the midfield as well, guys. So they have no vocal point. And before that, the substitutions were atrocious. They were absolutely atrocious, and I do think that Scaloni played a huge part in Argentina losing this game, because you don't give too much confidence to your team when you're subbing on Nicolas Otamendi, which of course, unfortunate, it was because of an injury, but then you're giving out Leandro Paredes instead of Nico Gonzalez. That is once again a defensive approach style, substitution. And then, I don't know why Romero went off, maybe because of the yellow card, or was it the injury? I don't know even if he was actually injured. And, Montiel coming off, and you're putting on Molina. I just don't understand. You have Simeone, which he did come on in the 70th minute, but this guy is a player that needs the most confidence to actually perform. Other than that, he's just going to run his socks off. And let's be honest, guys, he had the biggest chance for Argentina to actually equalize, and he missed a chance. You have players like Lo Celso, Paz, Almada, Lautaro Martinez, which have previously showed you they are much better technically than the other players that you have put on, and have scored in the most crucial goals, in Lautaro Martinez, and you give them no chance in the final? I don't understand. On the other hand, I have to talk about Spain. The first half absolutely dominated. From maybe one run where Alvarez gave the ball to Messi, like right here, and Unai Simon, by the way, what a performance by him. He didn't really have to do anything, but when he actually needed to help the team, he did help the team. And when it came to the midfield battle, Enzo Fernandez, De Paul, McAllister, Nico Gonzalez got absolutely bent over by Rodri, Olmo, and Fabian Ruiz, and especially Rodri. I am sorry if I have ever disrespected Rodri, even though he is still injury prone, and I stand on the fact that Real Madrid probably shouldn't sign him because of his age and the injury proneness. For a tournament like this, where he will stay fit, you almost are guaranteed to stay fit, because, there's just too less of games. Then, the league, you can have 15 good games, then you're gonna get injured for 20 games. That's what was happening to Rodri. But I genuinely expected Rodri to have a good World Cup, sure, but he got the player of the tournament. Is it deservedly so? Maybe not. I think maybe Mbappe, Bellingham, Messi were better overall. But for the final performance, I am all for it. For, Spain being the winning country, Rodri being the best player on the team, 1,000,000%. Lamine Yamal was never, even close to him. The defense, sure, they were great, but Rodri is a difference maker. And that's exactly what destroyed this Argentinian team. Because the midfield just couldn't get enough balls to Lionel Messi. And if that plan falls, guys, Scaloni shows his true colors. If Messi's not there, who's gonna help me? Ooh, am I gonna make a good substitution? No, please get the ball to Messi. Please get the ball to Messi. And if Messi doesn't do well, guys, I'm not gonna give you the 4-4 cup. I'm not gonna equal Italy. I'm just gonna stand there on the sideline and hope Lionel Messi does something. This 39-year-old man, who barely even runs, because he literally fucking can, bro. If this guy ran even more, I think he would have collapsed on the pitch from this tournament. And his back is breaking by the point that he's ending this Argentina chapter of his life. Because he has been carrying you guys. So please don't forget that, yeah? Anybody saying that, yeah, Messi was ass, whatever, bro. Like, whatever, shut up, man. What about these other players? Whole midfield, embarrassing. No press, no sense of urgency, nothing going forward. The defense, especially these two, I know they were probably injured, but from what I have seen from them at this tournament and all the talking they did after the English win, absolutely atrocious. Tagliafico and Montiel being on 7.4 and 7.0 are absolutely fucking horrendous ratings. Tagliafico is the biggest Dumbo in defense and the most zero awareness fullback pairing of all time. And if it wasn't enough, then Montiel at least kept a clean sheet. They put on fucking Molina. the Atletico Madrid bum duo Simeone and Molina, which Molina was directly, involved in the goal where Nico Williams just jumps over him and then Ferran Torres of course scores. We're gonna talk about it. And Simeone, who could have equalized in the extra time, but didn't, guys. From the point on when, Argentina had 0 shots up until like the 105th minute, which is still fair enough. I think the point where the game actually was, fully ended, because until you score that first goal, you can never know what happens. Enzo Fernandez lost the final for Argentina today. Because I think if the both teams go 11v11 in the extra time, I think Argentina either score 1-1 or both teams don't score at all because of the numbers in defense that Argentina would have had. And they had, way more of a chance to hold the ball up the pitch and, don't lose so much energy in so defending and running around with 10 men. It maybe could have gone at least 2 penalties. Spain went much better, guys. Let's be honest. They are so much better on the ball. They have so much more physicality. They have so much more quality on the ball. 1v1s, everything. They could have scored more goals, for sure. Merino had that, controversial touch on I think, Otamendi's leg where Nico Williams actually scored that goal off the bench. But what a impact by Nico Williams, Pedri, and Ferran Torres. Honestly, guys, I am a Barcelona hater, but what can I say? Pedri had a huge impact, especially on the ball, because as much as Spain looked better on, in possession than Argentina, they were just now not doing enough, and they were not moving the ball quick enough. Because the chances, as soon as Pedri came on, they started to flow more and more and more. Still, it wasn't enough because, let's be honest, guys, Baena is not a winger. He should have never been playing for Spain, and he would have never been starting if Nico Williams was fit. Nico Williams, once again, proves that his club career might not be the greatest. The international one is one of the, most respectable for the player of his caliber, because he has been consistently improving and, proving everybody wrong. Because everybody was saying, oh yeah, he's injured, club football not great. Guys, he has an assist in the World Cup final, and the same goes for Ferran Torres. Even though he has been, kind of mediocre, I would say, for Barcelona, even in terms of, he has scored so many goals. But everybody knows that he is not a good player. He will never be a good player on the club side. But guys, when it's time to turn up, he did turn up. I'm sorry to say, but he did turn up against Atletico in the UCL. He did turn up in the fucking World Cup final. This will never be taken away from Ferran Torres. Am I so mad and almost depressed by this game because Ferran Torres scored and Spain won the World Cup? Yes, but I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible. This Spain team is so well balanced that their biggest superstar in Lamine Yamal didn't even have to perform that well. Did he have the worst game of all time? Definitely not. But was he great this World Cup? No, hell no. He missed some games with the injury, or like some minutes with the injury, and then had 1 goal, performed in some, didn't perform that well in other games. But their biggest superstar didn't even perform. They didn't even have their other best winger and the striker, which is Oyarzabal, on, the scale of world football isn't rated at all, against other players like maybe Julian Alvarez or Messi, Mbappe, but they still won the World Cup. And do you know why they won the World Cup? It's because they played like a team. Argentina today didn't play like a team. They played like 10 men who wanted to only give the ball to Messi and do nothing else. It just doesn't work like that. People think, yeah, they play with passion and something will happen with Messi. No, that's not what they did against Argentina, if you remember. Because yes, Messi was the vocal point, but who scored that goal and did a sensational finish against England and started the comeback? Enzo Fernandez. And who was behind the center back to finish off the comeback and win the game for Argentina? It was Lautaro Martinez. Because they all came up with their respective portions of the game and they all gave something for that win. Who gave something for the win today? Outside of Emi Martinez. Because Emi Martinez, yes, he had some questionable saves. He did give away some weird balls. But he did something for Argentina. Even though I hate this brother. And he got karma today, guys. It's karma. Don't worry, bro. You got a good performance, but you still lost. It's karma for the last final. Because I remember your shenanigans. But the only guy that gave something was Emi Martinez. The other players just wanted to cruise, run, like it's some Sunday league game and give the ball to Messi. That's just not gonna be enough. And they finally got found out. I was wishing for Messi to win the second World Cup because, you know, I think it's better for me than to have Lamine Yamal and these guys already having a World Cup at this young age. But if I'm being completely honest, who deserved to win the World Cup and who was the better team today? It's 100% Spain, because they are actually a team. They are not 10 men with Lamine Yamal. They are 11 players who play like a team, and even if their star man doesn't turn up, somebody will turn up for him, and they will run for him, and they will be better than him, which was today, honestly guys, Nico Williams and Ferran Torres. That's all you need. And they won because they didn't give up, once again, giving into the idea that team sports should be played as teams, not as individuals. And the last World Cup wasn't won by just Lionel Messi. It was won by Enzo Fernandez. It was won by Montiel in the penalty shootout. It was won by McAllister. It was won by Di Maria. And then the sensational Messi. But this tournament, I genuinely think they were too reliant on Messi. And if the idea of Messi dried up, they had nothing to answer Spain. And that's why Spain cooked Argentina today. And the result could have been 3, maybe 4-0, honestly, guys. If you look at the stats and you actually watch the game, Spain had some crazy chances. And, you know, if Merino accidentally didn't step on Otamendi, it could have been 2-0 already. So, yeah, Spain, I think you are the absolute deserved winner. I think, actually, France had the best chance of beating Spain in, you know, the matchups. But Spain, I think, have the mental advantage over France. And I think France, on that day, weren't particularly playing well, even tactically, and they were mentally, you know, I think finished after the second goal from Pedro Porro, which they were not playing well at all. And Spain finished the World Cup as the best defensive team, I think, in history, only conceding 1 goal, and that's with playing 1 more game than, you know, most of the World Cup teams in recent history, because they have added, you know, more teams, and that was the round of 32, which I think they played against. I don't even know, guys. The World Cup has been going on for so long. It has gone like this. I don't remember half of the games. So, yeah, Spain are the deserved winners. Kubarsi won Young Player of the Tournament. I agree with. Rodri winning the Player of the Tournament. I don't particularly agree that he was the best player of the tournament. But if you look at it, you know, from FIFA's perspective, it's the winning team. They're going to give it to the best player from the winning team. I guess it's fair enough. If Messi won it, I would have been okay. If they gave it to Mbappe or Jude or somebody else, I would have been okay with it as well. I think Rodri has been sensational in this World Cup. And yeah, it hurts, honestly, guys, but ball don't lie. Spain deserved it. Argentina didn't. They are the World Cup winners. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I gave a completely unbiased opinion, and I hope to see you in, you know, other content I do, because this will not be La Liga oriented. This is my second channel. This will not be Real Madrid oriented too much. I will still have my Real Madrid opinions, you know, but I will be doing more content focused on Serie A, Ligue 1, Bundesliga, and maybe some other leagues, you know, Premier League and stuff like this, because I genuinely just love football. And even though bad results happen, that is always next season, and I'm excited for it. So thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.